Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, 3rd chapter, verse number 30, 30 and 31. Hare Krishna. Let us start with prayers and then we'll go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Okay, so we'll read from Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, 3rd chapter, 30th verse onwards. Let us see Akshita, Saina, Sami coming also. Welcome. Okay, so it's 11:3:30. It's a beautiful verse. Let's go through. You can repeat after me. Parasparanu Kathanam Pavanam Bhagavat Yashaha Mitoratir Mitastushtir Nivrittir Mita Atmanaha Parasparanu Kathanam Pavanam Bhagavat Yashaha Mitoratir Mitastushtir Nivrittir Mita Atmanaha. Okay. Someone of you can read. Parasparanu Kathanam Pavanam Bhagavat Yashaha Mitoratir Mitastushtir Nivrittir Mita Atmanaha. Parasparanu Kathanam Pavanam Bhagavat Yashaha Nivrittir Mita Atmanaha. Okay. Everybody would like to read? No? Parasparanu Kathanam Pavanam Bhagavat Yashaha Mitoratir Mitastushtir Nivrittir Mita Atmanaha. Okay, so we are in 11th canto, 3rd chapter, verse number 30, and we'll also do 31 verse later. So word for word meaning: Paraspara, mutual; Anukathanam, discussion; Pavanam, purifying; Bhagavat, of the Supreme Lord; Yashaha, glories; Mitaha, mutual; Ratihi, loving attraction; Mitaha, mutual; Tushtihi, satisfaction; Nivrittihi, cessation of material miseries; Mitaha, mutual; Atmanaha, of the soul. So, translation purport by Sri Prabhupada, keep time. One should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. This process is most purifying. As devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. You can repeat after me. One should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. This process is most purifying. As devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. We'll read the purport by Prabhupada. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, those who are advanced in Krishna consciousness should not envy one another or quarrel among themselves. Giving up all such mundane feelings, they should gather together and chant the glories of the Supreme Lord for mutual purification. Srila Viswanath Chakravarti Thakura has pointed out that glorification of the Supreme Lord is especially potent when performed in the association of pure devotees. When devotees engage in Sankirtana, chanting the glories of the Lord together, they experience the highest transcendental bliss and satisfaction. Thus, they encourage one another to give up material sense gratification, which is based on illicit sexual connections with women. One devotee will say to another, "Oh, you have given up sense gratification? Starting today, I shall also give it up." One should learn to increase one's love for the devotees, to satisfy them, and to give up sense objects unfavorable to serving Krishna. And one should learn to view the entire universe as paraphernalia for the Lord's service. By engaging the objects of the senses in Krishna's service, one automatically becomes detached from them. And as one passes one's days in the association of the Lord's devotees, one's transcendental ecstasy increases more and more through discussions about the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, one who wants to be free from the harassment of Maya in the form of sense gratification must constantly associate with pure devotees of the Lord, who have no engagement other than chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord and carrying out his mission on earth. Srila Madhvacharya has pointed out that just as one should cultivate friendship with devotees, one must cultivate a spirit of friendship toward the demigods who manage the universe on the Lord's behalf. Thus, one should live peacefully within the world. Wow. So, fully packed purport with lots of beautiful things. So, the context of the section is Lord Krishna is speaking to Uddhava, and one of the main topic of this section theme is that sense gratification and how to overcome it. That's the main topic of this section. So in that section, Krishna is giving different aspects how to overcome that. And in this verse basically is glorifying the association of devotees. And in the association of devotees, what are we meant to do? Chant the glories of Krishna. That way, all the benefits are being described. So we'll go through one by one in the verse, and then we'll go through some points in the purport. So first thing is one should learn how to associate with devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glory of the Lord. So the point is given is one should learn how to do it. That means the natural conditional state is we come in association with somebody, we start blabbering something. What it is on our mind, top of the mind, something from outside, something, this, that. So the best way to associate is to chant the glories of the Lord in the association of devotees. That's the first point. So that means how do we get into that mood of glorifying Lord in the association of devotees? When we are also hearing regularly. When we are hearing regularly, then our mind is absorbed with whatever we hear normally. If I'm hearing about mundane news and this movie, that movie, this songs, that song, my mind will be absorbed in those things only. But if I'm hearing spiritual sound vibration at home when I'm alone, then my mind is absorbed in Krishna and Krsna Katha. Then naturally, when I come in contact with somebody, what is on top of my mind, I will discuss with them. So that is a secret for us. So hear as much as possible from the bona fide spiritual sources, from the sampradayas. That way, we can develop interest in the Krishna and absorb and develop absorption in Krishna. And then when we come into association of devotees, we're glorifying Krishna together. So how do we do that? How do we do that is, one option is, oh, you know what? I heard this point yesterday. It's very, very nice. I liked it. I want to share with you. This doesn't mean I know something better than you. That's not the mood. Mood is I like something, so I want to share with you. Like that. And then we can also ask them, can you please share me something? What are you reading? What are you hearing? Anything you can share you like, what is inspiring you, or what are you meditating on, please share. Like that also we can ask. These are some hooks for us to get into Krishna Katha. Initially it feels like little mechanical, little awkward, but that's a good starting point for us to practice at our stage. But when we hearing regularly and more often, then that will come as naturally, because we'll be bubbling with enthusiasm. Oh, I heard this one. It's so wonderful point. I never heard this before. I heard this so many times, but still now it struck me like this. When I heard this statement, it meant like this for me this time. Like that, we'll feel like sharing when we're regularly reading and regularly hearing like that. That's one aspect. Now going to the next point in the translation. This process is most purifying. Generally, when we're doing something in the world, we're asking, what is in it for me? What will I get? So Bhagavatam is telling us, what will we get? This will purify us. But in the association of devotees, when we glorify Krishna, that purifies us, all of us like that. So then, why is that important for us? Because at this conditioned state, we are inclined towards sense gratification. We are inclined for things that are away from Krishna at this point of time. But as we get purified, we'll be inclined more and more towards Krishna and devotees and bhakti, activities of bhakti like that. So the purification will help us to align with Krishna and to go closer towards Krishna. So that's why purification is important for us. In fact, purification is described as a mode of goodness aspiration usually. But for us devotees, our aspiration is we want to get purified so that we can get closer to Krishna and we can be situated in our constitutional position of service to Krishna. That's the main reason why we are doing devotional service. Now, the next point says, as devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. So another point here is, through this, by discussing Krishna Katha together, we're actually developing relationships between each other. And we can experience this practically. So when we're discussing with someone together regularly, then we understand what inspires them, what do they like, and then we get benefited from their practices, what they're trying to do, what their goals are, what they're aspiring to. So then we naturally, when we know something more about other person in relation to Krishna, then the friendship will develop. And this friendship, remember, friendship is based on something common between two people. So if we both have some common aspiration, for example, even materially, let us say we both want to become a millionaire. Then we both have the same aspiration. Then there is a common ground for friendship. But that's at a temporary level. Similarly, if we both want to get good health and both are reading everything about health, hearing everything about health, then we have a common ground, we'll become friends. But the friendship with common place of Krishna being there in the center, by having the common goal of going towards Krishna for most of us, all of us, devotees, practicing devotees, when you have that common goal of relating with Krishna and seeing everything in connection with Krishna, then that's a spiritual level friendship. And that is grounded for a long time because it's a permanent. It's not based on some temporary aspect of money or health or something like that. It's based on a currency of spiritual currency. There is a Krishna in between. So then that friendship will be strong bondings. So I see it practically also. Because one of the ways to develop this friendship when we are discussing together Krishna Katha is sharing from our heart. What did we understand? What did we like? What point you appreciated? And how this connects to something else you already learned, whether 1 month ago or 1 year ago, 10 years ago, something you already learned, some from Srimad Bhagavatam books or from your own life's realization, personal realization, application like that. So when we share like that, then we can develop heartful connections between each other. When we share with each other what we learned, what we understood, what we appreciated, what I realized from my life, like that. Because good thing, we all may not have opportunity to personally associate with devotees every day, but we're all each other, we're all with each other. So each of us has some unique strength. Someone might have come to Krishna consciousness last month, someone might have been practicing 10 years. That doesn't matter. The person who has come last month might have a great realization that will benefit me. So we should appreciate like that and discuss together. Because each of us has a unique angle of understanding scripture, unique angle of applying scripture in our life. And because of that, Krishna will give you a unique mercy for each of us and unique realization for each of us. So when we share with each of us, then we'll mutually benefit like that. So that's why here is describing that through loving friendship, we'll feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. So the happiness is, by associating with him, I'm getting inspired to do this service together. So I want to, that means I'm getting closer to Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for giving association. Even in mentally, we'll feel, within heart, we'll feel like that. That gratefulness for the association of others. Then that gives us happiness because it's helping us towards our goal. Remember, if my goal is to earn something, money, and somebody is helping towards that, we're grateful for that. Similarly, if my goal is to go towards Krishna, if somebody is helping a little bit also, that's a, we should be grateful and we'll feel happy in coming in their associations. And then satisfaction. So this is an important thing. So when we do devotion service in the association of devotees, it leads to satisfaction because we're doing something that is natural to the soul. The common example we hear is about the fish that is out of the water. Fish, the natural habitat of fish is what? Water. So our natural habitat is stay on the land. So if you take out fish from its natural habitat and put it on the land, on the beach, and give you a nice easy chair and cool sunglasses and nice TV to watch a movie, and then nice something wonderful to eat, something wonderful to drink, something cushion to for soft touch, all kinds of sense objects we give to fish. But fish cannot be happy. Why? And what is happening because of that? What will happen to the fish? It will start to die. Wonderful. So even though I'm giving all sorts of things that I think is great, I think is valuable, but for a fish, that will not help. It might be happy for me. I'll make it happy for me temporarily, but fish is not helping. Why? Because fish natural habitat is water, and that will only make it happy, not staying in the land and enjoying all different colors. Similarly, all of us also, we are by nature spiritual, and we are eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss by original spiritual nature, pure nature as a spirit soul. But our body can feel happy momentarily with some external comforts, eating nice thing, drinking nice thing, sitting in a nice place like that, temporarily. But because our eternal nature is spirit soul, when we are connecting with Krishna through mutual discussion of Krsna Katha or by doing devotion service, because Krishna is eternal, we are eternal, and devotion is eternal. Krishna Balram ki jai. So like how fish natural habitat is water and fish is happy with the water, staying in the water, like that we become happy and satisfied by being engaged in devotion service to Krishna and serving in relation to Krishna. So that is if we understand that point, then we'll strive for that natural happiness instead of temporary happiness that comes and goes, which is there for temporary for short time. So the devotion service will give us satisfaction. There's a verse in first canto, second chapter that talks about how when we do devotion, anybody knows the verse? That apratihata. So yado bhakti yado shadya ahutiki apratihata seyatma suprasiddhati. Yes, thank you. Next time. So ahitiki apratihata, the two words characterized for the devotion service. That means uninterrupted devotional service and unmotivated devotional service. That means uninterrupted means we do it every day. We do our chanting every day. We do hearing every day, reading every day. Every day we do sincerely, regularly. Not like, okay, today is Saturday, Sunday, I'll take a break. Not like that. We do regularly. So then that will give, that's one characteristic. Uninterrupted, that means no interruption. Next is ahituki aprathyata. So another thing is unmotivated. That means I'm not doing it because I want to get something. So if I do this, Krishna will give me iPhone. If I do this, Krishna will give me this, like that. But instead, you should do it. Krishna, I want to please you. My naturally are not coming up right now. I don't want to please naturally Krishna. But I understand it's good for me to please Krishna. So I'll say, Krishna, I don't feel like pleasing you, but I want to please you. Please accept this service for me. Like that we can start. Then Krishna will accept it. So basically, regularly doing it uninterrupted and unmotivated, doing it for pleasure of Krishna. When we do these things, devotion service, it will give natural happiness and pleasure and satisfaction to us, to the soul level, not just to the body feel comfort for 5 minutes. That is the point. So similarly, when we are glorifying Krishna in the association of devotees, it gives natural satisfaction to the soul. And by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. So there are two main points here. One is how material sense gratification. Sense gratification means giving happiness to our senses through some sense objects. Like I'm seeing something nice, that gives happiness to the eyes for some time. I'm hearing something nice, that gives happiness to ears for some time. That is sense gratification. So that sense gratification is the cause of all suffering, they say. Why is Krishna saying that sense gratification is the cause of all suffering? Because the previous verses is described how we have spirit soul. So we identify, instead of ourselves identifying with the soul, we identify that I'm this body. We think that I'm this body unconsciously. Even though if I ask you, are you a body or a soul? What are you going to tell? Soul. But unconsciously we are doing things that as if I'm body. That is harmful for the soul, that is for good for body only. So that's called bodily consumption. So in that body, when I have that bodily consumption, then desires will come according to that conception of identity that I have. That means I'll think, I want to keep my body happy. I don't want any suffering for my body. So I'm thinking that angle only. But I'm thinking about soul, then I'll think about what will make soul happy, what is the suffering for the soul. So we're elevating our consciousness to the higher level of soul as we practice in devotees. So when I'm in bodily conception, I'll think that by making my senses happy, I'm happy. Because my body is happy, right? So now then what I'll do, I'll try to find out what is the best thing I can see, what is the best thing I can hear, what is the best thing I can touch to make my body happy, my senses happy. That's the only thing. So now because of this, there's so much suffering described in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and scriptures regularly for us. What is the problem with sense gratification? It's a own seminar on itself, but I'll give brief pointers. So by trying to gratify senses like this, what we are making is we're making that as our goal of life unconsciously. That means we're striving towards that. Now we'll spend too much time thinking about how to get that sense gratification, how to obtain sense gratification. We'll do a lot of endeavor to get sense gratification. And most of the time, if you want to be happy with the senses for a few minutes, we need to work so hard to get that sense gratification. That is a common understanding. That means we need to work hard for a long time to get little sense gratification. That's the first point. It's not remember, there's always a benefit and risk, how much value of the work we are putting in. So if you consider that, it's too much work to get little sense gratification, to get little happiness. That's one point. Then many times when you get the sense gratification that we wanted, it's actually not satisfying to us. It only gives temporary happiness. For example, I strived so hard to make best gulab jamun in the world, but then it turns out that I'm not a good cook, so it's not tasty at all. That is one possibility always existing. Second point. First point is we need to do a lot of endeavor to get sense gratification. Second point was, even if we get it many times, it doesn't meet our needs. So we're not happy anyway. Oh my God, it's useless, like that. Let us say I got nice gulab jamun after so much effort, and then is wonderful, best of the world. I can eat 1 gulab jamun, 5 gulab jamuns, 10 gulab jamuns, 20 gulab jamuns. After that, what happens? I don't want to see this gulab jamun also, will say. Why? Anybody can guess why? It's too much. That means our body cannot handle more than that. Body has a limited capacity to enjoy also. It's not that you can give me 1,000 gulab jamuns, I will devour everything. I cannot do that because body has limited capacity. So even if I work out so much to get sense gratification, either I don't get it, I get it a wrong thing, or even if I get it, I enjoy only limited time. So now if you analyze like this with our intelligence, we can understand what is the value in striving for sense gratification. It's not really so much valuable. That's one point. That means even if you get another point is even if you get sense gratification, we're happy only for some time. Then we don't want it anymore. Like Gulab Jamun example we said, right? We don't want it anymore. Like so that means it's temporary like that. So that's one understanding from the intelligence level. That is for practicing devotees. This understanding at intelligence level is also important. But more important than this, that Krishna is describing is the ultimate key, ultimate force for us to live sense gratification is to develop higher taste, to develop spiritual taste, to develop taste in serving Krishna, to develop taste in hearing Krsna Katha. So that is what Krishna is describing. So when we develop that higher taste, like in this case, discussing Krsna Katha with devotees, discussing various points with devotees, when we develop taste in that, then we don't feel like wasting time, putting all our time, energy, and enthusiasm in all this effort to get sense gratification. So, as practicing devotees, we put our main effort in developing positive attachment to Krishna, our spiritual taste for spiritual activities and serving Krishna. If we do that, then naturally we don't have time for other things. Prabhupada used to say, my disciples don't have time for sense gratification, time for thinking about Maya. And he says, I don't have time to think about Maya. Like that he says. So, like that we need to engage ourselves in such a way that we develop some taste for Krishna consciousness activities. How do we develop that taste? By practicing it. Initially, oh my God, I need to call this Prabhu, I need to discuss Krishna Katha. It feels like a painful effort. But then as we practice little by little, Krishna will give us mercy. Through that we get some taste in discussing Krishna Katha, reading together, hearing together and discussing together. Like that we get taste gradually. So our aim in actually is one of the key in going zoom in spiritual life. Getting taste in spiritual life. Something that you like. Whether it's hearing, whether it's reading, whether it's a deity worship, whether it's a book distribution, or whether it's some service to Krishna. When we develop some taste for one of the services of Krishna or more of services of Krishna, then we'll go zoom, because that will enable us to do Tivra Bhakti, intense devotion service. Because when we love something, we'll put all our effort in it. So, but when we don't like it, we'll put a little bit. I'll do a little bit. Okay, thank you. Like that, nominal. So, but we develop the taste, then we'll do so much with our heart, mind engaged, absorbed, and our senses also engaged. Then it will be, it's called Tivra Bhakti. First canto, second chapter, Sukadeva Goswami discuss solution. Whether I have no desires, akama, or sarvakama, that means I have all material desires. Or I have moksha kama, that means I have desire for liberation. Doesn't matter, you just do Tivra Bhakti. That will get you perfection. So how do you do Tivra Bhakti? By increasing the intensity in our devotional service. Then will not be, oh, I will do a little bit today, I will do a little bit tomorrow. We're not like that. Complacent devotee, laxical, mechanical devotion service, not like that. Then, how do we do that intense devotion service? SB Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj is called Sutapa Maharaj, Sutapa Prabhu before. He gives a simple formula. He says, we increase he says 3 main points in the class he gave. The class is something about how to go from mediocre devotion service to exceptional devotion service, who's enjoying devotion service, who's happy in devotion service, who's blissful in devotion service. How do you go from mediocre to that one, he says. Before that, he says, any organization you take, 10% of the devotees or 10% of the group of the organization are at one extreme, which is I hate this organization. I want to get out of this organization. 10% are looking for opportunity to get out, it seems. And other 10%, wow, I love Bhakti. I love Krishna. I love Prabhupada teachings. I really love to practice this. I love chanting. I want to do more and more. That is the other 10%. They are happy in devotional service. So other 80% are in the middle he describes, which is called as mediocrity. That means just to do something. I'll chant my 16 words and sleep. I just, okay, temple asked me to do some service. I'll go there for 5 minutes. I'll show my face, comment. The mechanical devotional service. That means we don't have any desire to move forward quickly like that. How to go from here to here is the Tivra Bhakti, an intense devotional service describes. He describes 3 main points for that. Honesty, HIT. Honesty, intensity, and tenacity, he calls it. We'll discuss each of them. Honesty is always important in our devotional service. As practicing devotees is very, very important to be honest, especially with ourselves. Forget about others. You can cheat with everyone. We can cheat with everyone others. It doesn't matter. But we have to be honest with others. We should not think I'm already pure devotee. I'm just next to Prabhupada. We should not have the illusion that I'm already topmost pure devotee like that. Generally, people go through Krishna consciousness in such a way. When they come to Krishna consciousness, they think, wow, everybody coming to temple is pure devotees. I need to work on hard to get there like that. Then later on they'll think, okay, not everybody is pure devotees. Some devotees are pure devotees. Like that, they'll come to conclusion. Next they'll say, most people are not pure devotee, but I know my heart. I am a pure devotee. Then they'll understand, okay, now I'm not pure devotee, nobody is pure devotee. So then they'll stay in the mediocre zone. How do you go from mediocre zone to the intense, highest devotional service zone? Is by these things, by being honest. Oh, really? When I talk to this Prabhu, he says some small thing and I don't want to listen to him. I want to tell my point first to him. We'll recognize that when you have honesty. So when this Prabhu Mataji says something to me, tells me, okay, Prabhu, you need to keep the shoes here. Then I get angry. Oh, really? That means I have more of passion and ignorance still. I need to work on myself. Oh, when I fall down, I think about my mother. I don't think about Krishna. Oh, that means I have work to do. That honesty and self-reflection helps us. That's the first important thing for us. This honesty has 2 aspects. One is thing I told about negative aspects, right? There's a positive aspect also. For example, 10 years ago, when somebody asked me to come to class, I used to think, do you have anything else to do? Yeah, I need to do office work. I'll tell him, Prabhu, I have office work today. I'll come next year, next week. But now, when I hear somebody is there telling that there is a saintly person who came, there's a class today, I'm running towards the class. That means I've grown somewhat. That honesty is also important for us to understand. Because this honesty helps us to see how much we have grown from where we are. And then helps us to get motivated in devotional service. Oh, devotional service process helps. 5 years ago, when I see a restaurant, I'll say, wow, the restaurant is so nice, but I can't do it. This Krishna consciousness is junk. I cannot go to a restaurant. That is my consciousness 10 years ago, let's say. Now, I see restaurant. Oh, they might have nice, tasty food, but it only harms my Krishna consciousness. Because unless I take prasadam, I'll not get purified. I cannot go to my goal. By taking this prasadam, not only that I'm not advancing in my goal, actually receding back in my goal. So it's not helping in my goal. So I don't care about this thing. That is our consciousness. We grown a little bit. Like that, we see that honesty helps us to put more strength in devotional service, more intensity in devotional service like that. So both sides are important. That is a HIT, H we talked about. Intensity. Intensity is Tivra Bhakti we talked about. So the Swayambhava S.B. Keshav Maharaj gives nice, simple formula for that also. He says, how can we increase our intensity of Bhakti? By increasing the quantity of Bhakti. Quantity means do more of Bhakti. So what do we do more? When we have interest in something. It's okay. Initially, I'm only interested in something. It's okay to do that nicely. more of that. I'm interested in more of chanting, more of chanting. That's okay. More of hearing, more of hearing. More of Harinam Sankirtan, more of Harinam Sankirtan. More of Kirtan, that's okay. More of book distribution, more of deity worship, like that. Whatever you're interested in, do more of it. Quantity, increase quantity. Bhakti is so wonderful that whatever I like it initially, if I do more in it, this is the key. Actually, Spiritual Master also encourages us like that. Then, with the strength that we get from that limb of bhakti, then I'll get interested in doing others also. Let us say I'm interested in more of book distribution now. Then slowly I'll get interested in hearing. Slowly interested in deity worship. Like that it goes. We should not become impatient. So wherever we have interest, we start with that and increase more of that. Then naturally it will flow to others. That is one point. So basically increasing the quantity of devotion service. That means, let us say I'm interested in chanting. I increase my rounds of chanting. 16 rounds is the minimum, not the maximum for all of us. So like that hearing, if I'm hearing 15 minutes, I like it, I increase to 20 minutes. Like that increasing more. If I'm doing deity worship 1 day a month, do 2 days a month. Like that increasing the quantity of devotion service. That is one way to increase the intensity of bhakti. Number one, quantity. Next is quality. Some of us may say, oh my God, I'm already struggling. How can I increase my quantity? I have so much work to do. I have to take care of the family. I have to take care of temple service. So now I don't have any time to increase devotion service, quantity. Then work on quality. Anyway, I'm sitting in the morning to chant 16 rounds. During that time, instead of thinking about how can I distribute book today, how can I do my office work today nicely, what shall I cook today, and what will my son like to eat today. Instead of thinking about all these things, I can try to improve on quality of devotion chanting, like attention, put more attention. Of course, when we try to put attention, then we realize, oh my God, I am not able to be attentive. That is honesty. When we realize that, we can progress. How? When we realize that we cannot do something, we need to naturally go to Krishna. Oh Krishna, I really wanted to do attentive chanting from today, but I understood I cannot do it by myself. Krishna, please help me. Somehow give me some attentiveness so I can chant nicely for your pleasure. Please help me. Like that we pray. And then we're looking for opportunities, understand how to be attentive more. What can I do to be more attentive? We're looking to hear from scripture, sadhus, how to be attentive more. So the key is we're trying to increase the quality of devotion service. And whenever we hit obstacles in doing whatever we're doing in devotion service, we're open with our eyes, mind to find a solution for it. And pray to Krishna, depend on Krishna. That is what is called humility. Humility is not something great, something different, something great we need to do. Oh, Prabhu, I am so fallen. That's not the humility. Humility is understanding that I cannot do by myself. I need help. I need help of Krishna. I need help of devotees. Then only I can do it. That is the humility. So then, when I'm increasing quality, I understand that I cannot do it. Then we pray to Krishna. We ask devotees, Prabhu, I'm trying to do this chanting, but it's not working. Did you try something that worked for you? Or even friends we can ask. How is it? How is your chanting going? What worked for you? They'll tell me. Oh, you know what? 5 years ago, I went to this seminar. Sachinanda Maharaj told me, if you sit straight, then thoughts will reduce. Somebody will tell me, oh, I know. One day Sunday Feast class, I heard from Sankirtan Prabhu. He told me that all you need to do is chant, pronounce clearly and hear nicely. Then mind will be controlled. Oh, really? Let me try that. So like that we can work on ourselves. So we talked about quantity of devotion service increasing, quality of devotion service increasing. Next is difficulty of devotion service increasing. That means many times we want to do whatever is in our comfort zone only. So we need to be able to extend beyond our comfort zone when the need arises in the community for services. So little bit out. Then that is increasing the difficulty in devotion service. So through that also we can do Tivra Bhakti, like that. Any one of these things or all of these things, but according to your situation. That is one. Now next is quantity, quality, difficulty. And then what is the fourth thing? I forgot. Responsibility. Yeah. Responsibility. Responsibility means as we grow in our devotion service, we take responsibility to serve others, to help others in their devotion service. I know many of you or trying to preach, or trying to go to Buddhist mission, trying to prepare for youth preaching, like this, right? So when we take responsibility for someone else than others, what happens is few things. One is we're going from selfish zone to selfless zone. Service helps us to go from selfish zone to selfless zone, number one. And that's the right zone to go towards. Why? Because in the conditional mentalities, I want to enjoy more. What's in it for me? What can I get? That's the enjoying mentality. But devotional service in the spiritual world is all about service to Krishna. So to get there, we need to go from selfish to selfless a little bit. Then we'll go into pure service mode. For every activity, every interaction, we should see how can I serve? How can I serve? That's where we're progressing towards. So this is a good taking responsibility. It's a good step towards that goal, basically, to increase our service mode from changing to enjoying mentality to service mentality, like that. So that is one. Second is when you take responsibility, what happens is Krishna and Lord Nityananda is pleased with us. So they'll give extra mercy to us. When we're thinking about others, we don't have to do much. All we have to do is, my dear Krishna, I heard this devotee is suffering with bad health. If he so desire, please help him so that he can recover quickly and also come closer to you. We always pray that they also get spiritually uplifted. Not just health becomes good is not great. What is the use of becoming healthy unless they become closer to Krishna? So we always pray, please help them to come closer to you. Please help them to relieve the suffering. They're suffering with diseases like that. Like that we can pray. Or we can pray for anything, for anybody like that. That's the first step. Next step is we can do something for them. We can share something we heard, something we read, or we can help them in their service. Like that, different ways. Responsibility, taking responsibility for others also is an intense devotion. Now, remember we talked about HIT formula. H is honesty. I is the intensity in devotion service. P is tenacity. So tenacity means, like, let us say I'm trying to do one of these things. I'm trying to increase my attention on chanting. What happens on mode of passion tendency is we try 2 days and third day we say, oh, I'm not able to do it. Forget about it. Because mode of passion means we want either 1 or 0. We don't want in between. We're happy being 0 also. Because we can say, you know what, I cannot chant attentively. We take pride in that mode of passion. Or other is, I am very attentive in my chanting every day. We take pride in it. But we don't, our mind doesn't want to accept, oh, you know what, 20 times during the chanting, my mind goes everywhere. My mind goes to office, my mind goes to home, everything like that. We don't want to accept that. So, with our intelligence, we need to understand and we need to train our mind. What? That it's okay. I'll sleep. That is natural for me because I'm not used to that. It's okay. I will sleep. After 3 days, I'll not be attentive. But when I remembered, the key to success is what am I doing at that time? When I remembered, am I giving it up? Anyway, I didn't do last 5 days. I did 2 days, 5 days I didn't do. After 7 days, I remember. Then I'll think, oh, anyway, I didn't do 5 days, so it's okay. That's not the good thing. But at least now we do it. That means every week we do 2 days, we try to be attentive. That's a great thing compared to not doing at all, not trying to be attentive at all. Then it will slowly increase to 3 days we are trying, 4 days we are trying. Then every day we are trying. Then within day also, it's actually 16 rounds, only 5 rounds we are trying. Then 6 rounds we are trying, like that we grow. So tenacity means when we fall down, we don't fall away. We get up like a child. When they fall down, when they're initially learning to walk, then they get up and then walk again. We understand that principle that our mind is tricky. It will trick us. Anyway, you didn't do for 1 month, don't do it. Let us say some devotee gave a service 1 year ago. I have services like that. 1 year ago, some devotee gave, I didn't do anything. But when I remember now, I should at least do now. Forget about 1 year ago, what I did. But mind will say, oh, anyway, he told 1 year ago. What is the use of doing anyway now? Forget it. Like that. Even our spiritual master instructions will recollect. Oh, my spiritual master told me this in one class. No. Oh, I didn't do for last 5 years. Okay, let's leave it. No. Last 5 years you didn't do. At least do it now. Like that. So another principle for all of us is, just because we did something wrong, that doesn't give the license to do same thing wrong continuing again. If you do one time wrong, it's okay. Do right next time. Like that. For example, on Ekadasi day, accidentally we eat some rice. So, okay, now I ate one time rice by accidentally. Anyway, I broke the fast, let me eat throughout the day. That is a wrong way of thinking. Right way of thinking is that I missed it at least in the morning. Let me eat some non-grain prasadam the rest of the day. Like that, we need to continue. Like that. That's another important principle for us to learn also. So these are a few things. Let me go to a couple of points of purport and I'll pause for any comments also. So, and actually one more thing is encouraging one another. When we come in the association of devotees, what do? We encourage one another. How do we encourage one another? By discussing Krsna Katha like this. Then together, it can be one-on-one, two people only discussing. It doesn't need to be class. It can be like sharing what we heard, what we learned, what we realized. That's great. So that way we are encouraging each other. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that, oh, you know what, Prabhu? I started getting I heard that this year there's a Purushottam Mass. I heard it's very wonderful to do Purushottam Mass. So I'm planning to get up 15 minutes early for Purushottam Mass and chant 2 more rounds extra. Somebody shares with somebody. Oh, really? First of all, I didn't know there is Purushottam Mass this year. Oh, let me also do something. What can I do? We don't have to imitate the same thing. We have to think, okay, what can you do? Little extra devotion service to Krishna. So we can think and then do that. Like that, we will encourage each other like that. That's one way Prabhupada is giving here. Oh, you gave us sense certificate? Oh, let me also give it up now. Like that. For example, somebody says, oh, I'm not trying to go to restaurants anymore. Oh, really? Oh, let me also try it. Like that, we get inspiration from each other, like encouraging each other like that. So, this is opposite to the natural conditioned tendency we have. Really, Prabhupada describes, naturally when we meet friends, we want to show, oh, you know what? I learned so much things. I'm so great in so many ways like that. Within the peer association, that's what naturally comes. But we should not let that come. We should develop friendships in the peer association. That's one of the 3 qualities of Madhyama Adhikari, right? So we respect seniors and take the guidance from them, serve them like that, and worship deities with love and affection. And then with friends, with peers, we develop friendship. And with those who are just coming, we show those who are innocent, we give them compassion to them like that. Not become envious with each other. Generally, Prabhupada writes in Srimad Bhagavatam quote, generally when peers, they become envious of each other. That's not the right thing. Even this purport is said. Instead, we encourage each other. You're doing service nicely. He may be doing Harinam Sankirtan, I may be doing Mukti Shushan, somebody may be doing deity worship. Still, we are all serving Krishna. We should not think, oh, my service is the only service in ISKCON that's the best. Like that, we should not think. That's a Kanishta Adhikari thinking. Like that. But ultimately, Krishna appreciates any service you do. Even some prayers you offer, Krishna is pleased. Even when we are not able to do service properly also, making attempt, Krishna is pleased. That is the nature of Krishna in our life. So, yeah, basically chanting, Sankirtan also Prabhupada is describing in the purport that how doing Sankirtan and chanting together also purifies us and helps us like that. And Prabhupada also says, quoting Madhvacharya, one should cultivate friendship toward the demigods. What does this mean? That means Prabhupada is saying now from tomorrow onwards I should worship other demigods? He's not saying that. He's saying that we should respect demigods. We should not have ill feelings towards demigods. Oh, demigod worship is nonsense. Demigods, we should not have like that. You should understand demigods are superior personalities. They're actually servants of Krishna. Far better servants than any one of us here. Because they're directly doing against the service of Krishna. So we need to understand that and we need to respect them. But that doesn't mean we need to worship them. That's not what is meant. Worshipping and respect are different. Respect means we don't hate them. We recognize the services that they're doing. We recognize the qualities they have. Like that we recognize and appreciate. But worshipping, we're focused on worship of Krishna only for us. So that's the other thing. So I think I'll pause there for any other comments you might have. We can go to 31st verse, what I was thinking, but it's already 8:30. I'm not doing justice for that. Sri Radhamada ki jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki jai, Nithai Gaur Sundar ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai. So I want to hear from you. I think that's not working right here. Try it over here. So, I originally thought we might cover something and we'll go to Nityananda Prabhu's reading. But then I saw children are here, so then I thought we'll continue on this topic only. Otherwise, I was thinking we'll read from Nityananda Charitamrita. Nityananda Prabhu's appearance day is coming up on February 2nd. But this is a wonderful topic also for us. So you can share your own personal realizations, what you heard from other classes, or what you read, something inspired you. You can share so that we can discuss. It will be nice opportunity for us to discuss. Akshita is first.
Thank you so much. I understand a lot of things. So one thing that I that was from the class was how she did for Swami said in the book that we should never let go of any things that we should change. The lady with the voice we should care and work as fast as
possible. Very nice.
And also that in association with friends on because if you, for example, if you gave the example of if you were in my thing, that's the example of that'll be stuck in your mind. Spiritual things, be stuck in your mind. And also, yeah, and by doing the devotions and the you get closer to Krishna. And the verse I hate the said that you get someone Krishna.
Wow, that was a wonderful thing, yeah.
And then sense gratification, sense gratification, with much more attachments and you'll get tired of eating them. You won't feel like eating them again, and you explain how the body's temporary and how even the body has feelings.
Yeah.
And the one thing I really liked was the saying of the HIT.
HIT, yeah. So I'm Bhagan Keshav Maharaj gave that honesty.
Intensity and
tenacity. Tenacity. That means when you fall down, you come back up again like that. That means you persevere, you keep doing it. Not that give up. Okay, this is not going to work. In the early days of Krishna consciousness, I used to think, oh, Krishna consciousness is a super process. It's wonderful. But it doesn't work for me. Because I'm so this much that this. I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this. So Krishna consciousness doesn't work for me. It works for them. It works for them. So we should not give up. Keep doing. Krishna will give us mercy, and then we will progress. Nice, wonderful sharing, actually. Any of this would like to share anything? Sanvi is saying something. No, okay, sorry. Sorry, Prabhu.
So this was when you were detailing a couple of examples you told, right? Those are really stuck. One example, what made me laugh about myself is one that one Ekadasi, I remember I accidentally ate something. The immediate thing I did is within 1 minute, I started piling up whatever we first to start eating. And then I broke the pack. Anyway, I broke it, I just went on. So that's a wonderful realization. Cannot be an excuse. Even how you connected how when you experience higher taste, then you will automatically that you gave a solution. You connected the solution part. So while you were explaining about it, I remembered, even Nivrutti in this verse is aligning with Nivartati. It says, Vishayavada Nivartati.
Yeah.
So, Vajjamna Sokyasya, Parandushva Nivartate. That Nivartate is basically to curb the sense gratification tendency. Even here, Nivrutti is also the same. So there it is more like a generic statement by Krishna. Here, this is like a practical guide. How to achieve that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So very nicely you connected that.
Very nice.
And another thing is so the tenacity that you explained, right? The tenacity, you're saying that we have to develop, so even if we don't have, this is something that it's good to develop that, cultivate that. Right?
Yeah, tenacity means cultivate it. When we understand that we need to persevere, we need to keep doing, number one. Number two, when we understand how does the mind deal with it normally. Mind normally says, okay, I didn't do 5 days, forget it. No, mind doesn't like, mind wants to be 100% perfect. So when we understand, then when we get the idea that 2 days I did, 5 days I did not do, I'll stop. When the idea comes, actually Uddhav Gita Krishna also describes this, then we need to see that is mind proposing me. Normally we think, I am getting the thought that I want to stop. Okay, I'll stop. But when you think, oh, mind is proposing that I want to stop after 5 days, because I didn't do 5 days, I'll stop. When you see mind separate from us as spirit soul, then, oh, that's not good for me. Mind is giving wrong proposal. Is my enemy, right now it's acting like enemy. I don't want to accept your proposal currently. Then we'll continue to use it like that. That's one aspect of saying. And then it's natural for us to fall down. Anything we're trying, habits also even. So we need to continue. In fact, in the habits, developing habits, the mundane people will also give research, right? They tell, let us say my goal is to read 1 hour every day, Bhagavatam or something, let us say. Then one day I'm not able to read because I've done so much service in the temple or something, let us say. Then instead of giving it all together, they say at least read 1 line. That's called mini habits. That mini habit keeps the chain going. So for any habit that we want to develop, we need to create a mini habit for that. So mini habit in such a way that I will never say 1 line I cannot read. Nobody can say. 1 line is that 15 seconds. So if you keep it, then habit keeps going. But if I leave it, then my mind will say, oh, you didn't do 2 days anyway, let's leave it. Go ahead.
And I wanted to share Gaura's on this. He says, Krishna is explaining to Uddhava how to come out of the sense gratification tendency. Now, Gaura is saying that as long as you are in devotional also, he's saying as long as you are running towards even tasty prasadam. Oh, that temple has tasty prasadam. Let me run there. So when we go there, we eat it, enjoy. And then after finishing it in the afternoon, I remember, oh, this temple, this is the time. Let me go and enjoy that. He says, you will not get Krishna. The Krishna is not cheap. And then I say, okay, now you forget about the small things. Anything that we are attached to, other than devotional, he says you will never get Krishna. He emphasizes that so much. It's not easy to get Krishna as long as you are running for sense gratification. One form or the other. Even related to devotion also, eating prasadam. If there is nothing is available, he says you should be able to take tulsi water and be satisfied, not unsatisfied. That also should be satisfied.
Very nice.
It's very difficult to implement practically.
Yeah. When we hear such statements and when we feel it's difficult to implement, then we need to accept that in our heart first. and not become envious of that instruction. That means, oh, that's not practical, we don't need to do it. We should not take like that. You take it, that's a higher standard. But right now, I'm not able to do that. Let us say, our condition. That is first thing. That means we should not become envious of instructions of great personality like that, Gauravan Maharaj. So we should accept in our heart. So if with Krishna's mercy, with devotee's mercy, sometime I will get there. So, but I will strive also. Then you can see practically what I can do right now. Right now, my condition maybe I'll eat restaurant also. Then first instruction for me is eat prasadam somehow, eat too much prasadam. Eat tasty prasadam everywhere, go everywhere, eat. That may be first level for me. Next level is eat prasadam, whatever is offered to Krishna, eat it. Even though you don't like it, doesn't matter. Eat it, understanding that it's the mercy of Krishna. Just by mercy of Krishna, we can make so much advancement. Like that, we can slowly step it up. What nice point over here. In Nectar of Instruction also, Prabhupada tells that point. That, right? Yeah, the first verse he says that we don't cook. I like this, so let me cook it and give it, take it like that. That's one. Second thing is, nice prasadam is there, I'll go everywhere like that. Those 2 points he makes in the Nectar of Instruction also. Oh, so like, let us say I like potato. So I'll cook potato only for Krishna every day. And eat like that. Eating according to my taste. Offering to Krishna according to my taste, like that.
Krishna will like it. Like that,
Yeah, means the consideration is about only me in that offering also. That's okay. Initially for me, that my level right now. That's okay. Next level is keyword Krishna. What is pleasing Krishna like that? You heard something?
Radhanath Maharaj was saying, this param dusva nivartate, unless the higher taste, every living entity have a natural hunger. She has a point given by Mother Teresa. So what is that hunger? If we give some tasty food, will that will that satisfy his hunger? No, that is not the hunger. Easily get satisfied with by giving externally some food. He says that hunger can be only quenched by giving him what naturally the soul can be satisfied with. And these are the parasparam, mutual.
Yeah.
In this work, everything is very much emphasized. Mutual.
Yeah, mutual. 3 times, 3, 4 times again. Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying mutually you have to have attraction. Mutually you have to associate. Mutually you have to also get satisfied. Mutually. Yeah. Not just me getting satisfied.
Correct.
You have to make sure that
it helps. Yeah. Nice. Thank you so much for sharing. Saina, go ahead.
It's a very strong friendship because it's not based on and also the other point it says you need to do and other things like when we go like one day we said we go to a restaurant and that other one takes that as inspiration to maybe put it in his own practice and maybe also follow this thing.
Wow. Yeah, very nice, Saina. Both points are wonderful. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, when we share like this, what happens is, I don't know, in my initial years of Krishna consciousness, when you ask me, I sit in a class for 1 hour. What you remember, I'll tell something that somebody shared in the class. So it's very helpful to share like that. Because that's only, some of the devotees may carry only that in the heart, mind, nothing else. So it's so important. And then slowly I used to tell, okay, what did I hear? I heard only that one story, that's all. That was sticking. When I was hearing, I thought I was understanding everything. But after few minutes, I can only remember one story. Like that. So it's important to share so we can recollect each other like that. Actually, you're saying something?
Yeah, so like you also need to like things in the source of like an example. For example, if there's like two people that would like care about their health and they help to each other with their health like a lot, so then maybe and also like not just them but like anyone who has the same like taste, they like become friends.
Yeah.
And similarly, if we do that, then we have a better bond with our devotees. And we get association.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Yeah. That's why it's called like-minded devotee association we seek. So we cannot be friends with 100% everybody. We can respect everyone, but we need to develop some close friendships with people who are like-minded like us. Yes. Any other comments or questions?
Mataji, please word. I thought nobody was doing. No, word, Mataji.
Intensity and tenacity. Tenacity, the way you said one word that really struck me, that you fall down but you don't fall away. You stick to that. Obviously, sometimes you're not able to follow a routine, like like we went to India. We were in so many classes.
Correct.
But then we lost track of so many classes because it had gone so far off.
Yes.
Then we stopped doing it. Now I realize it. Now new classes started coming and we started trying those classes. Whatever like so many classes we had, like Krsna. But it's all 1.5 months we were totally lost touch of it. And then mind says, not Prabhuji has gone so far. Let's not go. So I feel that when you talk about it, I connect so much to it.
Wonderful, man.
Intensity is something like mind says, mind always goes first and second.
Correct, yeah.
So in fact, this materialistic world, the way we are surrounded with the people around us, we cannot be always associated with the devotee.
Correct, yeah.
So that particular time which we get where mind gets that tries to trigger.
Yes.
So I would not even say that I'm a practicing devotee. Any step lower than that where I am, because it's very difficult to trick the mind and say, okay, mind will shut up. I know what I have to do. I have to advance in the speaker. So sometimes you do that, and sometimes mind takes the charge.
Correct.
So that is what, when you said all that, right? And that intensity you beautifully describe, the quality, the quantity. That is sometimes we cannot, like if you are doing 16 with time crunch or whatever mine is on top of, we cannot do 25, 29, 40.
Correct.
Whatever obligation you have. But then you have the taste in that because anything, just 1 hour, 40 minutes, 1 hour, 45 minutes. Right?
Yes.
You are chanting. You have to take it. Why not have it quality to it?
Exactly. Efficiency increase.
Yes. And this is so beautifully the way it's taken. Okay, this HIT is going to stay with you.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really, 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 really exciting.
Thank you. Devotees are amazing. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu gives that principle: fall down. When you fall down, don't fall away. He's amazing like that. Welcome to you, Prabhu.
Does it apply to the offenses also? I mean, Mataji was nicely describing the realization. I was thinking, let's say if I have offended, at least I have tried to think, if I fall away, I mean, will it make me fall away? Is my question. Offenses.
Every situation, because we are not Krishna, we cannot 100% say what is the cause of falling away for anything. 100% we cannot say, but offenses generally have a tendency to reduce our attraction to spiritual activities, reduce attraction to, or increase attraction to material sense gratification. That's a possibility for offenses. That's why offenses are more grave than sinful activity. Because offenses create anantas in our heart. We can even say, I don't want you, Krishna. I don't want devotees. You can go to that extent with offenses. That's why we Gurus are very, very careful with offenses, more than simple activity. But we cannot say any scenarios because of what easily. There are many characteristics. Right?
Just a couple of things that I really liked. Many aspects you explained. A couple of things I liked was how honesty means. Actually, you brought it out very nicely that honesty is similar to is synonymous to humility. So if we want to remain humble, the best thing that we can do is remain honest with ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
That I really liked, and I also liked as per the verse you're talking about how mutually we have to share with each other. We see even within the scriptures, even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was always among the devotees. He was never, I mean, of course, when he was in his last few years, he was experiencing different rasa, but most of the times he was always with the devotees, hearing about Krishna, especially with Gadadhar Pandit. He used to hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day, relishing Srimad Bhagavatam every day, usually. So that's something that came to my consciousness when you were mentioning about how devotees should actually, when they meet with each other, should share what. Sometimes it comes to at least my neophyte consciousness. It thinks that, oh, if I share, will people think that I'm trying to be very proud of, oh, I'm hearing or something like that. That always kind of stops me from going and asking such questions. But thank you, Prabhu. Your class really helped me to break many barriers.
No, please share with us, Prabhu, all of us. So we'll not think like that. We'll be happy to hear from you, especially you hear regularly. So it's nice to hear from you. Please share. It's true.
How does the spiritual does not become a ritual?
Correct.
It should not become like a mentality. Okay, I have to get up, I have to do this, then I have to do my morning arti, then I have to offer the prasad. How do we keep telling our mind, no, this is not a ritual, this is the spirituality that will let me know in the Lord Krishna, this is a ritual. How do we keep telling our mind?
Very nice. Yeah, very nice. Two things, many things can be said, but two I could recollect now. One is that whenever we're doing something regularly, one principle we need to follow is we need to understand why am I doing regularly? Why am I doing that? We need to try to bring that into consciousness. Why am I doing like that? That's very important. Because one time, one sannyasi, Bhaktivinoda Maharaj, came to our home 15, 20 years ago. That time he gave me a principle. He told me, you are from India. So you are from India. Okay, he's giving teaching. He's from UK, but he's preaches mainly in India now. He said, many Indians follow religion just to do things, but they don't know why they're doing. So I want you to keep this principle in mind. Whatever you're doing, understand why you're doing and keep that in focus like that. That's one principle he shared with me. That's very helpful because when we're chanting also, we go to get up and get ready and chant Hare Krishna. Take few seconds. Why I'm chanting? I'm chanting because it will purify me. It will get me closer to Krishna. Krishna, this is for pleasure. Please accept this chanting for your pleasure. Like that we say, we center ourselves and then start like that. That's one principle I heard about this thing. Second thing is, when we're regularly hearing or reading, or both, one of those things, whatever the Shastra keeps repeating to us, oh, you need to satisfy Krishna. It's not our senses we need to satisfy. We need to please Krishna. Like that, it keeps repeating our message. Then we take the message in the heart when we hear this message. So these two things will help me to understand that like that. And then third aspect is, we need to see our day-to-day activities. Actually, it's an extension to your question. Day-to-day activities, how we can do it as service to Krishna also. For example, I'm sleeping. Is that sense confusion? No, that's service to Krishna. How? Because if we don't sleep properly, next day morning I'm chanting by sleeping. So it's important to sleep also. So that means service to Krishna. And if you're not sleeping for 2 days, nobody can be around me because I'll be so mad at everybody. So that means sleep is important for my mind and for my body to take rest and rejuvenate. So like that we see. So then we pray to Krishna. Krishna, please allow me to take rest and get up early morning so I can chant and read in the morning. Like that we pray before sleeping. Then we have the consciousness that I'm sleeping so that I can chant and read in the morning. Because body needs rest like that. And then when I'm getting up in the morning and I'm starting to brush teeth, without brushing the teeth, I cannot go. If I'm not clean, how can I go before deities and open them? So I need to brush my teeth, I need to take bath, so I can be clean before deities. Now imagine 8 hours of sleeping became devotion service. Half an hour of getting ready became devotion service. We didn't do any chanting at that time. like that. So that like that, seeing the purpose and keeping the regular hearing usually helps us to make it not go mechanical like that. And the fourth aspect is the Tivra Bhakti. When you same thing you're doing every day for 6 years, it not stay. Either it increase the quantity, quality, or difficulty, or responsibility. Then that will go out of mechanical mode to higher mode, full throttle. Because it's already used to it. Like that. Makes sense? Thank you. Something?
It's very nice. Everything so much practically in a explained with. Thank you so much. I wanted to that inspired me is that first sentence said that while associating with devotees, first thing is if you associate with devotees, because only through the association of devotees can one actually develop the bhakti within, because we all have the spark within us, and when all the sparks come together, it's like a blaze. Like all coals, they have a small spark, but when they all get together, it's like a blaze. So that way, it was very good. So for that spark to really become a blaze, it shouldn't be like somebody putting water on of it, like, and then everything will be destroyed. So there should not be any envy between any of them, basically. So it should be non-envious. And I was thinking this can be done only when we think that this person is serving Krishna from her perspective, or his perspective. So how can I, in the sense like there is no material envy, but how can I also serve Krishna? She is pleasing Krishna. So how can I also please Krishna so nicely? We appreciate this. We also one kind of appreciation. Yeah, so they have this quality. So instead of being envious, you can go and appreciate them and say, "We have done very nice job." Either you learn from them how they did if you want to do the same service, or if you have different service, you appreciate them and you do your best to please Krishna in your own way. So in that way, and there is another point I remember in this context about humility and also honesty, as Prabhu was saying. That humility and honesty, they go together very well hand in hand. And recently I heard a class where they were saying that you need to have a deep humility. I mean, you need to have a deep humility combined with intense eagerness. To go to Krishna and you are back home back to God. There is a path back home back to God. These two things. So you are taken to the Krishna level.
Wonderful.
That is it's a very easy train journey. But the thing is, we need to be cautious of many things like offenses and all that came up from the topic.
Thank you for sharing. Very nice. Thinking about the enviousness, all of us need to strive within ourselves how to be non-envious, but we cannot expect everybody to be non-envious. That's an important point. We should strive each of us to be non-envious, and we should understand each of us are at different levels, like Lavanya was saying. So each of us are at different levels. That means each of us can practice Krishna consciousness whatever they understood or as of today. Because we cannot expect everybody to be pure devotee in ISKCON. Just because we want to become pure devotee, we cannot expect everybody around us is pure devotee. So everybody is at different levels. So we need to give them that scope to express their devotional service in the way they understood so far. Because devotional service, everybody has the same intention. They want to do devotional service nicely, they want to please Krishna. That we need to recognize. Then everybody is able to do to the best whatever they can do. That tolerance we need to develop also. When we develop the tolerance, when I can forgive my own mistakes. Like let us say, I want to get up at 4 in the morning and do chanting every day. I'm not able to do that. So then I should not blame myself. I should not demean myself. I should be striving to go to the next level, but I should not be so much depressed and dissatisfied about that fact. It's called self-acceptance. When I do that, then when I can accept my current situation, current status, then I accept everybody's situation also. That's how it starts. So, but we all need to strive for non-enviousness. That's a nice thing. And then other thing I was remembering is Prabhupada Maharaj describes in the connection with Jagannath Puri Yatra, whenever we went to Yatra, it describes the different acharyas, all the acharyas in our disciples. Most of them had come connection with Navdeep or Jagannath Puri like that. So he described the same thing that Lavanya was sharing. They all had extreme humility and then extreme enthusiasm simultaneously. Generally, humility means I go back like that we think. But they're not like that. Their humility is in relation to Krishna. They understood they're small, Krishna is great. That true humility they had. And they had enthusiasm to serve Krishna. Either they enrolled sadhana or in seva to others also. These are important qualities, like Lavanya is saying, how will help. That is some things we can inspire from our acharyas also. Like, any other comments or questions?
Does it fit also the extreme eagerness to do, the Svadhyaya? Will that also cover to the principle?
Yeah. Extreme eagerness in any aspect of devotion service, whether it's Svadhyaya or Seva. Both what we call extreme eagerness. In fact, nectar devotion is describing eagerness is one of the main qualities for somebody to get bhakti. Eagerness is eligibility, like that is described in essence. Service. We could speak a little louder because. Yeah. First. Yeah.
So then, because then we won't have time to think about materialistic things, and those people say that I don't have time to do that, then you can focus on the quality of your japa or your puja.
Oh, wonderful, Sandy. Nice points. Yeah, both are wonderful points. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Actually, that's a very big principle we need to follow. Actually, and that's what I also try. When you keep a schedule with devotional things, then it's already tied up in a calendar. Then there's no scope for other things. Otherwise, I have free time. Like that. Thank you. Anything else? Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let's offer obeisance to devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhesha kupasandubhya vacha. Pajanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you so much, devotees. Hare Krishna.